What if I told you that Singapore trains foreign government officials for free? Not because Singapore is simply being nice, but because it may be one of the smartest forms of soft diplomacy. Since 1992, the Singapore Cooperative Program has shared Singapore's development experience with close to 150,000 government officials from 180 countries, territories, and intergovernmental organizations. These officials come to Singapore to learn about governance, public planning, urban sustainability, public administration, digital policy, economic development, and more. On the surface, it looks like training, but strategically, it is about relationship building. Because when a foreign public official comes to Singapore, they don't just attend a course. They experience how Singapore thinks, long-term planning, clean administration, whole of government coordination, practical execution, and perhaps most importantly, how policies are turned into real outcomes. Here is why it matters. Some of these officials may one day become senior civil officials, mayors, ministers, diplomats, or key decision makers in their own countries. And when that happens, Singapore is no longer just a small red dot on a map. Singapore becomes a country that they have personally experienced, a country they understand, a country that they are more likely to trust. And in international relations, trust is not something that you suddenly manufacture during a crisis. You cannot say, hello, we have never really spoken before, but can you please support us now? This is not diplomacy. This is last-minute networking with a red flag. Singapore's approach is different. We build relationships years before they are needed. We share what we know. We become useful before we need influence. And this matters to ordinary Singaporeans more than we realize, because a country with strong relationships has more room to maneuver. It can build better partnerships, open doors for trade, create goodwill in the region, and be taken seriously when even it is small. This is the quiet genius of Singapore's soft diplomacy. We do not always shout for influence. We do not always act like a superpower. We build credibility quietly, consistently, and practically. And this is not just a lesson for countries. It is also a lesson for leaders in the workplace. The most influential leaders are not always the ones with the biggest titles, loudest voice, or most impressive presentation slides. They are the ones who add value before asking for support. They share knowledge, they connect people, they help others succeed, they build trust before pressure comes. Because when a crisis happens, people do not follow you simply because your name is on top of the organization chart. They follow you because you have been credible, consistent, and useful long before you needed their cooperation. That is real influence, not forced, not demanded, earned. But let's be clear, being useful does not mean becoming everyone's doormat. If you have been available but never respected, you are not building influence. You are just being convenient. Real leadership is about adding value with credibility, boundaries, and purpose. And that's why Singapore's quiet strategy offers such a powerful workplace lesson. Small countries do not gain influence by acting big, and leaders do not gain influence by acting important. They gain influence by becoming trusted, useful, and hard to ignore.